Jeff, how are you?
Doing good, Jerry. How are you?
Doing good. So, Jeff, my question to you is if I lose money on a job, is that always a bad thing, or is there something to be gained from that?
Of course, the initial thought of losing money on a job, it seems bad, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a trial and error. Uh, it can be a good thing. And what I mean by good thing is, you've had a job, you bid the job, you put the time into it, you've been awarded a job, and you go out and put the project in, do everything you think you can possibly do to make money, then you find out, that you've lost money. And when that happens, you need to take the experience you just had and apply it to your next project. And hopefully it will turn out better than what this one did.
Well, how am I going to know that? How am I going to know what I need to change or do differently in the next job so that I don't lose money on the next one?
Well, it could be, different variables. It could be labor issues, and that's going to depend on you as a project manager or an estimator tracking your costs. It's very important to track your cost on a project. And, whenever you get your cost in on that project at the end of it, you got to determine what areas you lost money in. And once you do that, as you do another project or bid another project similar to that one, then you got to make changes. If you shorted yourself on labor and equipment, you've got to modify that. You've got to make it to where you can make profit on it. Like say, I had 65 days figured in this job. Well, what if it took me 85 days? Well, next time I'm in a similar situation, I know, hey, I've got to add more time into this project. I've got to slow my production rates down to where that I can be profitable. I've got to account for my labor. I've got to account for my equipment. It's you can lose money on materials, but it's pretty hard to lose money on materials if you've estimated your job right and you've taken your job off right. Your materials are going to cost you what they're going to cost you. Most of the time when you lose money, it's in labor and equipment.
So, if I'm understanding you correctly, I don't need to just know if I made or lost money on the entire job, but I need to be able to break that down into specific parts of the job. Is that correct?
Yes. And if you're not tracking your job costs correctly and you're not breaking it down to where you can track your labor, where you can track your equipment, track your material cost, whatever those materials may be. I said a minute ago, that it was hard to lose money on materials, but you can lose money on materials if you didn't do a good enough job, on the initial takeoff. And that's going to be on you and your experience and, in taking projects off, of similar magnitude.
So, I think I know what your answer is going to be, but what would you recommend someone use as a construction company owner or manager to be able to track their costs on specific segments of a job?
Of course, I would recommend ProfitDig. ProfitDig was designed with the contractor in mind. It's a affordable product, and it's the only product on the market that offers a bid to budget application. You go in, you create your bid, and once you're awarded that bid, you are able to enter your cost in the field, in the office. Your foremen, your superintendents, they can enter cost, and hour by hour, day by day, week by week, month by month, however you want to break it down, what your costs are every time you look at it.
All right, Jeff. Sounds good.
All right, Jerry. Thank you.